everybody. Thank you so much for inviting us back to discuss the ethical issues we have previously highlighted. My name is Ann Brewer, and these are my colleagues.
My name is Tana Wasubantakanish.
My name is Dominic D'Agostino.
Today, with our presentation to you, the Board of Directors for Marathon Pharmaceuticals, is to highlight the problems that we have discussed previously with you. And with that, we want to make sure we imply the ethical situations that you have dealt with, and in our conclusion, discuss how we're going to address them and solve them for you.
The issue that your company faced during the month of February was a public backlash that emerged after you first discussed that you would be releasing a drug called Inflamza to treat Duchenne muscular dystrophy at a cost of $89,000 a year. An amount that most people within the Duchenne muscular dystrophy community are unable to afford. That being said, your company never actually anticipated that its community would need to pay the full price of $89,000 a year. Your company expected that your patients would only need to pay a standard copay of $20. However, there was a slight disconnect as well as miscommunication that didn't allow your patients to actually understand the value of the price that they would need to pay, as well as the justification for why the price was the way it was. We believe that this in turn led your company to have a disconnect, specifically in how the pricing was communicated to your patients. As a result, there's a public outcry that resulted in forcing your company to need to justify the price of $89,000 in saying that it was inexpensive for an orphan drug. However, given the circumstances of your drug already being developed and researched overseas, we have to justify the fact that it was actually inexpensive, or it was actually expensive considering that it had already been researched and developed, as well as sold overseas, compared to other orphan drugs that have been released within the United States that do have to undergo far more expenses. That being said, when this information was released and understood by the Duchenne muscular dystrophy community, there was a sense of distress as well as frustration that the community felt towards your company. So as a result of the public response that was faced by your company felt as though it was in its best interest to sell off its drug to PTC Therapeutics. Unfortunately, this put your company in a position where it no longer has a drug to sell, and has brought you back to a position that it was in a year ago, where it's now needing to develop new potential treatments for its consumers. Your company believed that PTC Therapeutics was the best company to sell this medication because it has a more equipped company already, as well as a deeper understanding of Duchenne muscular dystrophy. This has brought your company, again, back to a position that it was already in a year ago. And unfortunately, this is something we want to avoid doing in the future. So we're here to propose to you a solution that will avoid having this issue repeat again in the future with your new products.
In order to avoid the problem we've just discussed, we believe it is important to understand its ethical implications. Marathon Pharmaceuticals received FDA approval and orphan drug designation and decided to price its drug at $89,000 a year. The glaring issue with this price is that previously, the same drug could be imported from abroad for $1,500 a year. Failure to communicate with the Duchenne muscular dystrophy community about the eventual goal to make this drug affordable for all who needed it. A lack of transparency led to a need for more clarification, and many doubted the means and methods Marathon would take to eventually reach this goal. Unlike many other companies in the rare disease and orphan drug industry, this drug had previously not only existed, but it was being used in practice to treat Duchenne muscular dystrophy. Because of this unique situation, the idea that a high price was needed to recoup high research and development costs lost nearly all its traction in the public's eyes. In an industry that is pharmaceuticals, where companies like Mylan and Martin Shkreli's Turn Pharmaceuticals have captured headlines and have been exposed for their selfish, profit-driven, and insincere motives, we believe the industry has already received a reputation as being unethical. Because of this, we believe it is imperative that Marathon Pharmaceuticals differentiates itself in a positive manner from the other companies in its segment of the pharmaceutical industry. By establishing a precedent that by simply raising your prices, you can receive higher profits in this industry, will create a public push for governmental mediation. We believe that the monopolies in this industry use their power and the incentives for their own personal gain rather than their intended purposes. The government may strip the incentives from the industry entirely. As a result, not only will both parties be harmed, but there will be once again a shortage of research and development of medication for those in the rare disease and orphan drug community.
So our solution today is here to help you figure out how to navigate around these ethical implications of what you've experienced in the past few months, and so that we are ensuring that you will be able to avoid these situations in the future. In response to the public outcry at the $89,000 price tag for the Duchenne muscular dystrophy drug, we feel that there's a true story to be told. That is that you, as the Board of Trustees here at Marathon Pharmaceuticals, wants to act in the best interests of your consumers. But when you tried to justify this price tag and had that lack of transparency with your consumers, you only intensified that discontent from them. So our solution today is to make sure that we highlight that lack of transparency and turn it into an opportunity for you. In order to do this, we're highlighting one main theme of our solution, which is building relationships. In order to do that, we feel it is best to highlight two main factors of that, which is first, making sure that you as a company implement a clear mission statement as well as a value statement. And further after that, making sure you revamp your public relations strategy. So foremost, our solution challenges you to make sure that you implement your strong mission statement and a set of values that you can identify as a company and with your consumers. So in order to do that, you have to make sure that you have it readily available to the public. However, based on the public information that you have on your website, we've determined that they actually don't have access to that information. It's nowhere on your website and it can't be found anywhere in publication. So this is obviously a huge disconnect between what consumers are looking for and trying to identify in your company as how you benefit them. So next of our solution is revamping your public relations strategy. In order to do this, we want to make sure that you open a communication channel for your consumers that can build that connection that we're looking for by building relationships. The first factor of accomplishing this is to make sure that you really revamp your website. There are three main factors of this further that we want to make sure you highlight. First, being that you institute a media outlet. Currently, there's no way for your consumers to interact with you except through public releases of press releases. So with having a media outlet and social media, you'll be able to create that channel of communication where consumers can stay up to date on the news of your company, as well as engage in conversation over various platforms. The next part of this is creating a project timeline. We want to make sure that your consumers are aware of the projects that you have going on and when they're going to hit the market. So they can follow that step by step and they're aware of the work that you're doing. The last part of the website that we'd like you to add is make sure that you have a responsibility section. This is to make sure that your consumers and stakeholders are completely aware of your ethical business practices. The next part of this public relations strategy is to make sure that you implement an active community outreach program. Now with this, you'll truly be able to establish this long-lasting relationship that we're looking for with your stakeholders. We recommend, in order to accomplish this, establishing an annual forum or gala where you invite your direct community members to meet with you at one single location. So for example, you can invite your patients, the doctors that you interact with, representatives from insurance companies, and even government officials. This will truly allow you to open up the floor for communication and also express to your stakeholders that you want to make sure that they can talk to you and that you respect their designation to your company. So all in all, we want to stress that our solution is able to recognize this lack of transparency and give you the opportunity to transform it into something positive for your company. We know that you're going to be able to pursue this strategy and implement it into your company so as that you build a trustworthy as well as transparent business model. So with that, thank you so much for inviting us back to discuss the solution here. We look forward to seeing how you implement our recommendation.